All right, everybody, welcome to another episode of What's What BR. We have Mayor President Sharon Western Broome with us again. How are you?
I'm doing great. I look forward to these opportunities.
Well, I can't tell you how much I appreciate you taking the time out of all the things that you got going on, especially nowadays, to make some time. But I feel it's good. It gives everybody a chance to connect and get a little bit longer form of more of here's the story, not here's the soundbite. And I think that's what
Exactly.
people come and listen to the show for. Not for me, of course. I'm just the facilitator. So until we can find somebody else. But so what's happening in your world these days? I've got a whole list of little things to run through, but where do we start?
Well, I will start with the fact that, we are trying to avoid regressing back to where we were in 2020 as it relates to COVID-19. Unfortunately, we are seeing a sharp increase in COVID-19 hospitalizations across our parish. Just in 1 month, like from June 18th to July 18th, COVID-19 hospitalizations really have nearly tripled. And we haven't seen that level since February. So, of course, 40%, we found out, of East Baton Rouge Parish residents have completed their vaccination series. 44% have had one shot. And we're finding, Brandon, an increase of within the age group of 18 to 29 year olds. And so that represents our largest population. We're trying to focus on a lot of the unvaccinated young adults. We also had a press conference this morning, and Dr. Minsky from Baton Rouge General said the hospitalization trends matched the numbers of 23% of our 18 to 29-year-olds who are vaccinated, and only 39% of people 30 to 39 years old have been vaccinated. So our message is, listen, the Delta variant is real, has worse symptoms, is highly contagious, and we just know that vaccines are the best tool that we have to protect ourselves and our loved ones. They're free. This morning I did a press conference at the Mall of Louisiana, which is one of our sites where people are coming to get the free vaccines. They're Pfizer. And so we also want to encourage, if you need more information, listen, my goal is to make sure that people understand the severity of COVID-19 and the impact it has on our community, the physical impact, the mental impact, the economic impact. So we don't want to regress and go back to where we were last year. The vaccine is helping us move forward. If you aren't quite sure, talk to a medical professional. Talk to someone who's had the vaccine. And we offer, Brandon, more information on our website at brla.gov/get vaccinated.
It's a lot of information up there. And I think we talked about it last time. People need to get their facts from, a medical professional, not from their Facebook feed or their Instagram feed.
So true, so true, so true.
So I think everybody needs to make those decisions, kind of on their own. But it does seem, I try to stay out of the a lot of the news hype and a lot of the cycles and the buzzes and all that stuff. But it does seem that it is, it's picking back up again. And so people need to take it seriously.
One of the things I say, Brand, is that, COVID-19 is not a member of a political party. It's no respect of persons. So, it's all about the health and well-being of our entire community.
Yeah. Speaking community, we talked a little bit, but there's some of the stormwater, that's been a big, topic for a lot of people. You guys have put together kind of a master plan, or still trying to gather the information for the master plan, or kind of where were we there?
So our project team has collected data to analyze our current drainage system. And last week we did give an update on our stormwater master plan. Um, these are some very important numbers. They have identified, surveyed, and evaluated over 60,000 drainage structures. That includes manholes, inlets, storm drains, and catch basins. And so they have also surveyed approximately 300 plus miles of channels, riverbeds, and associated bridges and culverts. And so this data is so important because it can be used to develop a strategic and GIS mapping database of the identified structures and their conditions. And we're currently using it to track and address our maintenance issues. So this stormwater master plan is really important. It's the first that we've ever had in East Baton Rouge Parish, and it will enable us to have a comprehensive understanding of our drainage ways for the first time ever, which will help us create long-term drainage solutions. So we announced our first project, which is the widening of Ward Creek at Segan Lane. This has been approved by FEMA's Hazard Mitigation Program. It's federally funded at $1.8 million. And so for those individuals who live in wards, who live in the Wards Creek area, areas like Morning Glen and Audubon Terrace neighborhoods who saw flooding in May, this is going to help reduce flooding in that area.
So sounds like, if I try to break it down into my simple mind, that we didn't have this master plan. We didn't have all this data, the GIS data. We didn't have all the information. We just knew we had pockets of problems, and where things were. And all we could do was really treat the symptom. It's like, hey, if we had water rising here, we need to go there and see how can we stop it. But as a kid, we all kind of did Louisiana history, and you see all the rivers that flow into the Mississippi and kind of how it goes. We can kind of do that at a parish level now and start collecting this data and see maybe where if you solve this one problem here, you're going to fix 12 down the line, downstream.
You're so right. You have to, any engineer will tell you, as you work to solve solutions, you've got to have data. You've got to have analytics. And so now we have that data, we're collecting that data, we're doing the analytics. And so that means that we can come up with some effective long-term solutions instead of a patchwork approach.
Mm-hmm. No, and I think that was not only you guys gathered, but we also had a lot of people submitting, the community was submitting, right? They were submitting their problems or different. Is that right, kind of the hybrid solution of everybody kind of working together you don't just come up with 60-something thousand points, on our own, right? It took everybody.
Yes, you're right. We have a website for the Stormwater Master Plan where people could also insert their information, what they were identified as particularly problem areas. So that has been really, really helpful to us as well.
I used to have a tech company that IT support, and we used to always tell people, they'd get frustrated, they'd have a problem, or, they'd get mad and they'd talk about it. And we used to have to tell people, it's like, look, until you log the ticket, the clock doesn't start. You can't, expect us to fix the problem if you don't come and tell us about it. Don't just sit and complain. So if people would use that, that's the first step. Just don't complain that, you're getting whole standing water, whatever it is. Go report it so that it makes it into the plan. Otherwise, you're just going to be sitting there complaining about things. So
correct.
So, with that, we've got this master plan that literally flows, kind of segues right into, kind of some of this drainage. It's all the same thing, right? Of how do we get the water in stormwater master plan turns into drainage projects, that all, no pun intended, flows together, right?
You're right. I have shared with people that water management has to be a way of life for us here in South Louisiana. It has to be a way of life. So we've got to be effective in managing water. Um, we have hundreds of millions of dollars in drainage projects that are underway in East Baton Rouge Parish. For example, I recently uh, used $20 million of our American Rescue Plan funding to not only address issues identified by the stormwater, but well, to identify, work on the issues identified by the Stormwater Master Plan. So we're using that as an immediate response to the Stormwater Master Plan, including drainage improvements, cleaning out stormwater drains, clearing and grubbing, roadside drainage cave-ins, roadside ditch cleaning, et cetera. So we are making tremendous strides in that area. Another major drainage initiative, of course, is that we are working on our Louisiana Watershed Initiative project. Two of our projects were recently approved: Bayou de Plantia and Ward Creek's floodplain acquisition. So that, Ward's Creek, I should say. So those two projects are now part of the Louisiana Watershed Initiative, and the funding will allow city parish to purchase plots of land and preserve it from future development. And lastly, our drainage focus is with our 5 tributaries projects, which will enhance 66 miles of our 5 main waterways that drain 3/4 of East Baton Rouge Parish. So we've got a lot of work going on in the drainage space. It's unfortunate that things don't move at lightning pace, because we have to comply with the federal rules and regs and processes. But we do have some things moving. That's why I wanted to use that. Those American Rescue dollars enabled us to work towards immediately have more immediate response to some of these issues that we're dealing with. So that certainly is helping as we get those other initiatives launched.
Yeah, I don't think people appreciate or know, or frankly, even want to know. And if they did know, they probably don't want to know. There's a lot more to this than widening a ditch.
Oh, yeah.
It's not just saying, let's just go widen the ditch. It's environmental studies. It's, the committees that sit behind it, the EPA, you get too close to some of these bigger bodies. You've got Corps of Engineers, like everybody's got a hand, in this. And so you guys have to navigate that. But I think the general public just thinks well, just go get a guy with a backhoe and let's just get the project done. It's like, no, it's not that simple. There's a lot more to it.
You're absolutely right.
So, as I said, I know enough about it to talk probably that far, but I know that I don't want to know anything more about it at this point. So.
That's some good information, though, you just shared.
It's, as long as everybody realizes it's not just you having to be the one saying, go dig the ditch. There's a lot of other boxes that have got to be checked.
Yeah.
So, and that's important for, the parish, but also the state, there's a lot more. This drainage is a lot bigger of a thing than people, I don't think everybody really gets the gravity of the whole. There's a lot of engineering behind it. There's a lot of, work that goes behind it. And it's a big deal. You're moving lots of water and trying to get it, don't go here, go here. How do we get it? Where's the conduit? And like you said, it takes, anytime you finally get a green light, the green light just puts you to this huge project. They're not little projects. We're not building driveways and putting pipes, across them. So, but a million things we could go down that road. So tell me, how's the resident leadership, leader academy going? We talked a little bit about that. We've been getting people signing up and taking action.
We have. We've been getting great feedback on our resident leader academy, which is helping to develop community leaders in our neighborhoods across the parish. We met with leaders about navigating city parish and its resources. We training these leaders towards community development, how they can address blight and housing in their community. They are learning strategies to make their neighborhoods safer. And so our Resident Leaders Academy is a component of our Safe, Hopeful Neighborhoods program, which is our effort to drive community engagement to improve quality of place. And so it's going really, really well. The folks that are involved in the Resident Leader Academy, of course, when they conclude, they are eligible to receive a $2,500 grant for a community service project. So I am really glad to see how this initiative is progressing.
Wow. And I think that's a theme, since you and I have been doing this, show, most of everything we talk about, and I think you say it in a much better way than I ever could. I just happen to be the guy who just tries to be a little blunt with it, but it's one thing for government, and city officials to roll. It's not your job to solve the entire problem yourself. We've got to step up as a community and do it on our own. You can facilitate it. You can put the grant, you can put the academies, you can put the safe, you can put it there. But if we as a community don't step up and actually say, we're going to take pride in our own neighborhoods and start doing our own work, we can't expect somebody else to come and do it for us. Correct. And maybe that's the bluntness in me just saying that we've got to do it ourselves. But back to the matter is, that's what it is, right?
Absolutely. You're absolutely correct.
So how is the other one I wanted to check on before I let you go to more important people than I is, we were talking about the youth workforce, experience. That was a quick deadline. I was trying to get my child signed up. Didn't work. I needed to put them to work, but
next time we'll catch them next time.
I'm just going to let you can have volunteers. You can just have them for the rest of the summer.
That's cool. That'll be great. Well, we're glad as we come out of COVID-19 in terms of some of our restrictions from last year, we're now serving over 300 young people in our summer training program. And so these young people this summer, they're earning industry recognized certifications, they're connecting with mentors and developing social and emotional skills. They're also participating in service learning projects throughout our community. And so we are really connecting our youth with valuable skills that they can use for a lifetime and preparing them for the workforce, and they get a stipend for doing all of this.
And so is this new? I couldn't remember. You've done this for a while.
Yeah, it started before I became mayor, but we kind of recreated it. And now we call it the Mayor's Youth Workforce Experience, because we do have some youth who are working through beyond the summer. So and we, as I said, we've recreated it. We've tried to add more of a relative learning experience and connected folks with more skills that they can use to prepare them for the workforce.
Well, that's awesome. Well, anything else you can think of? I love, chatting with you and going through all this. I think we need to tell everybody, they need to be safe, and, everybody's doing what they can. We do have, I don't think we were, talking about it, but we do have, a hurricane season working its way here. So if we talked a little bit last time, if everybody would just take a couple minutes just to get a flashlight or two, might help. Some things.
We want to encourage people to go to Red Stick Ready. Go to brla.gov, Red Stick Ready, connect. You can find all type of preparation items that you need. And hopefully, I'm very hopeful and prayerful that we will not have an eventful hurricane season. Exactly. That's my prayer. That's my constant prayer.
That, and then I need the rain to stop. Exactly. It's not helping the drainage, and it's not helping with anything.
That's another one of my constant prayers. You know what I've noticed though, like today, for example, it's been raining in spots throughout the city, but then it starts and stops, right? It starts and stops. But as I said, we've got to manage water. Water is a way of life in South Louisiana. So that's why these drainage projects are so, so important.
Well, I appreciate all the hard work you're doing to move them forward. Like I said, I know it's a pain. I do not want to be involved in that. I'll help with anything else, but just keep me out of that one. That was too complicated for me. So,
well, thanks
but I
for helping us
appreciate you
get
making
the
some
word
time.
out.
Absolutely. Maybe somebody else much smarter than me can step in and help. So I appreciate all the time you give us as we put these together. So we'll look forward to the next one.
Okay. Have a great day. Thank you so much.
All right.
Okay. Bye-bye.
All right.